Welcome back into OneSoccer today. That's what you continue to watch with Andy, Gareth, and Ollie. We're going to talk about the Canadian national teams, and we have to give a shout out. What are you doing?
I don't know.
You have to give a shout out.
No Adam Jenkins today. I'm trying to get away with stuff.
No, there is no Adam Jenkins today. He was in Montreal for the Canadian Championship, so we've given him the day off to rest.
Take Thursday if you want as well, Jenkins.
Jenkins, I'm on your side. I just want you to know I'm on your side.
We miss you.
Shout out, the FIFA nominees for the FIFA Awards have been announced. Congratulations to Bev Priestman, shortlisted for Coach of the Year, Christine St. Clair for Player of the Year, and Stephanie LeBay for Goalkeeper of the Year. How about that?
2 of the 3 are locks? Do you think 2 of the 3 are locks?
2 wins, I think, there.
Bev and Steph have to win.
Yeah.
I mean, Christine St. Clair, I feel like, we talk about Bobby Smirniotis in the 2 years and kind of getting ripped off and not being given, Coach of the Year. I just feel like Christine St. Clair. And again, arch rival Megan Rapinoe had also put on, name the best player to have never win Ballon d'Or. And she's like, Christine St. Clair, flat out.
Needham has had a pretty good year, hasn't she?
So there you go.
She's crushing.
Good good.
Ollie, let me ask you this. Jonathan David has 10 goals in 14 league games this season, which is pretty impressive. Kylian Mbappe second with 7 goals. Yeah, are we sure? And we've asked this before.
Someone called Messi around there as well?
Messi is not showing up. We've asked if we thought like one day Jonathan David would be considered a top 10 striker in the world. I mean, should we be considering him a top 10 striker now?
I mean, maybe. I thought in 2020.
There's no maybe.
Yeah. In 2021, at least, like he's in the conversation, right? Like I think he's 7th in terms of Europe's top 5 leagues in goals in 2021. Look, I got Lewandowski, Haaland, Benzema. Those have been my top 3 strikers this year. I think you then have to, Mbappe, Ronaldo, Lukaku, Kane. Even though if some of those players have been a bit more up and down this year, you have to have them in the picture. That's 7. Are there obvious candidates beyond that?
Vlahovic from Fiorentina.
He's been very good, yeah.
Been awesome.
I think when you get to 8, 9, 10 around that area, he's right in the mix.
Yeah. Laren, you said Laren last week. You take Laren over Jonathan David. Remember that? So, so Laren would be up there. Look, like, he's in the mix. I've a little bit of a difficult time trying to pump his tires too much because I still think he's just scratching the surface, right? Like, I still think he's very much developing. And maybe perhaps it's just something about it. Like, I can't wrap my head around a player who Canada brought off the bench against Mexico, a top 10 striker in the world. It just seems crazy to me. But his club form is that good. He's a stabilizing force in that Lille side, and he's absolutely worthy of being in that conversation.
All right, what do you think the next move should be for him? Do you think the Premier League is a good move?
We're always in such a hurry to move people along. I think he's at a good spot right now and a good level for him. At 21, I don't think that there's any hurry unless Lille needs money. I'm not sure if he's that out-and-out combative player that will thrive in the Premier League. I think Serie A could be perfect for him. Even a move to La Liga, just the way that it's a much more controlled game where he can just go and find those pockets of space. Like, he very much is Johnny on the spot. Like, he's not that all-action player. You might not notice him a lot over 90 minutes, but he's in the right place at the right time as a proper finisher as well. So the Premier League might not suit him to a T. Ollie, I don't know what you think about that.
I don't think he will be at Lille next season. I would like to see him move on. No, I think you want to see him playing Champions League football, or if not, playing in the Premier League or La Liga or Serie A, which I do think are better leagues than the French league. But the interesting thing with Jonathan David, and it's the reason he wasn't starting against Mexico, which seems like crazy for Canada, is that he is a very kind of specific type of player, right? Like, I think he is at his best when he's playing in the front two and has another striker to play off of. And so when you look at other clubs he could potentially go to, the question is going to be, does he need to go to a team that plays 2 up top, or can he fit into a front 3? Can he evolve his game and change his game in certain ways to suit that? Clubs obviously looking at signing him are going to have to judge that and whether they think he can do that if they're going to bring him into a team that doesn't play in quite a specific way that's catered to him. Here's
a player we saw earlier on in the season, but not recently for John Herdman's squad, and that's Theo Corbeanu. Now, he does have 2 goals and an assist in his last 4 games with Sheffield Wednesday. Do you think, Ollie, that he's playing his way back into at least maybe a January camp for Herdman?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Look, I know League One maybe doesn't jump off the page, but Liam Miller was there last year. He was still getting call-ups, and when you look at the January games coming up, we're going to have MLS players out of season, and so it's going to be even more of a, Europe-based players are going to be leaned on even more. So I think there's a role for him for sure. Big test for him tomorrow night. He's coming to Milton Keynes, one of the toughest places to go in world football. We'll learn a lot about whether this kid can handle San Pedro Sula when he visits Stadium MK tomorrow.
January is going to be an interesting window. Players who are on form, who are hurt, who are available. Also, any MLS players are a season. And John is going to want to play players, who are right in their season. Now, there's certain MLS players who are undroppable in the team. Larea, Miller, Johnston, Osorio off the top of my head, Kay. So there's 5 of them. Other players, maybe not so much. So a player that's on good form, Herdman likes, familiar with camp, familiar with expectations, could very well be a good time to bring him in.
All right, well, why don't we get into Herdman's ear for the January window?
Let's do it.
I just like the music. All right, so mentioned it off the top of the show. It's worth mentioning again, as we know, Canada has now jumped to 40th in the FIFA rankings, matching their all-time high from 1996. We already know Herdman's busy. I ran into him at the airport, and he wasn't even taking any time to bask in the glory of the full 6 points in that win. He goes, work to do. I'm like, Merry Christmas? No presents, no Santa this year, work to do. So what advice do you have for him, Ollie?
Well, I'll give him one piece of advice for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's because I haven't prepared for this segment, because I hope we run out of time and don't get to it. I've been foiled again here. And I'll give him this piece of advice for the second reason is what you just mentioned, that he always seems to be busy. He always looks like he's pretty tired and kind of got a lot of stuff going on, watching a lot of games and players and so on and so forth. So my advice to John Herdman will be, am I looking at that camera?
Yeah.
Take Christmas off. Take a week. Enjoy yourself. Spend some time with family. I'm sure he does, but just, switch off all football for a week or so. Unwrap some presents, eat some foods, come back refreshed in 2022.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
That's right.
I'll sing him a song. This one I normally do.
Oh, no.
But don't worry, this one won't be offensive. Oh, Canada. We just need to sing our national anthem and drive home that patriotism that he's driven home so much, because honestly, I think if you're a club team, whether you're Manchester United, maybe one of the Canadian MLS teams, wouldn't you want John Herdman as your club manager? Like, what more does he need to do to take that next job? He has to be intrigued at the very least. So I'm singing, "Oh, Canada," so he stays. I don't want him to leave. Stay with us, John. Don't leave us.
If you keep singing, his ear's going to bleed. Never mind in Herdman's ear. Poor guy.
Voice like an angel.
Oh, you were supposed to give him advice. You just sang at him.